Have you been toying with the idea of getting your head around SEO or search engine optimization, but you just don't know where to start? Well, hang on tight. In this video, I'm going to go through just, like 9 categories of search engine optimization, what you need to know, and how you can finally get your head around it. Remember, you can watch a video again and again just to finally tip your toes, get your toes wet in terms of search engine optimization. If you have any questions, leave your comments in the chat below. Let's get into it. So what are the top Google ranking factors for a website and why should you care? Let's get into it. Right. So in the last year, my website received close to 1 million impressions in a 12-month period from web search and over 500,000 or 500,000 impressions from image search on Google. And that's one reason why you should care about the top ranking factors. So what are those 9 categories? Well, they are domain, page level, site level, user interaction, on-site factors, brand signals, Google algorithm rules, backlink factors, and off-site factors. In this video, I'm only going to cover 9 of them. And just to let you know, there are over 200 ranking factors. I know that's a whole lot across those 9 categories, but I'm not going to cover all of them. I just want to give you a flavor, a bit like nice sauce as to what you need to look out for and how you can help your blog or website get ranked in Google. Domain. So the domain factors are 3 different areas. The age of the domain. So if you just bought a domain from scratch and it's never been owned before, it's brand new, then it's a brand new domain. The history of the domain. So if you bought a domain name that is 3 years old, 5 years old, 10 years old, then Google looks at the history of that domain to determine its ranking factors. And then obviously the keyword in the domain. So many people don't have the ability to put the keyword in domain, so they go for a brand name instead. And that's fine. Page level. Now this looks like a whole load, but I'll just go through it briefly. So the keyword, when you look at it on a page, when you arrive from Google search to a page, there's so many different little elements in a page. The keyword, they might have a table of contents, the length of that content, the topic authority compared to the rest of the website, the URL. So every page will have a sort of a fingerprint that determines where you can find it, and a universal resource locator, which is the actual address of that content. The internal links, so it's linking to the rest of the website, and external links linking to other things outside of that website, affiliate links if you have any, and then any sort of useful content on that particular page. The site level, so apart from the page, you've also got the entire site. Every site should have a sitemap that gives Google spiders an indication of the layout or structure of that website. The contact us page, if there is one, that's what Google looks for. If you don't have a contact us page, then you might as well start getting one because Google wants to see that your website is trustworthy. Then we've got the site layout. So sitemap is different from site layout because site layout is from a user experience, whereas sitemap is from the Google spiders experience. The SSL certificate, so secure socket layer, is the site secure, that little padlock in the top bar, left-hand side. Availability, so is the site always online? Sometimes your website goes down and that happens. So it should have a 99.9% uptime. The freshness, so are you constantly putting new content on your website? Privacy page and terms of service page, so we want to make sure that your website users or visitors have rights. So just in case they don't like something, especially when it comes to GDPR and all of those other sort of regulations, they want to make sure that the user has the rights when they visit your website. Duplicate content is, do you have the same content across several pages, or all pages filled with unique content to that page? Mobile optimize, so important. Most people say 50+% of people use websites from a mobile device. And then the site reputation. If it is that you have or has been deemed over the years as being a reputable website, for your users. Then you've got user interaction. As you can imagine, once the user arrives on your website, actually before they even arrive, when they do a search in Google and they see the list of results, based on all the results that they see, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, are they going to click on? Are they clicking through to your page or your website? If not, why not? So the click-through rate. So if one person in 1,000 click through, that's a very low click-through rate. But if one person click through for every 100, obviously that's a much higher click-through rate, is 1%. So you want to aim for a click-through rate of 1% or above. Bounce rates, when they go through to your website, do they run back the other direction? How much direct traffic does your website receive from the Google Chrome browser? So they check that from the browser. The Safari and Firefox browser, obviously they can't check that. The overall user experience, when they go through it, what they do, etc. Are they commenting on your blog posts? What's the dwell time? If they spend time on one page, do they go through to another page, or are they spending only 10 seconds and then leaving? Of course, that's attributed to both bounce rate and then session time and all of that fun stuff. Then we've got the on-site factors. So when you think of this, we've previously talked about the site, what's it called? The site level information. This particular one is on-site factors, like the one that does penalties. So the site level factors are different from just the regular on-site factors. The site level factors are all positives, navigation, that kind of a thing, whereas the on-site factors can relate all of it, as you can see from the list, to penalties. So do you have a lot of pop-ups? I don't know if you've ever been to a website, you've go to visit it, and then you have to close down 10 different things before you could actually read the content on the website. If that's a user experience, then you need to do something, because you get penalized for that kind of bad user experience. Is the site over optimized? Is the content low value? Is it high value? Has the content been auto-generated by some sort of machine or software? Is it full chocked of affiliate links? Are you hiding a lot of affiliate links, cloaking it in the background on the website? Then you've got brand signals. As you can see, if you're Starbucks, which you probably aren't, you probably come to realize that people will search for your brand. Once your brand becomes well known, they will search for it, as opposed to searching for, say, for example, a keyword related to your brand. Are you using brand name in your anchor text? So in other words, although your brand name, say, for example, is healthy options is your brand name, are you using the word healthy options throughout the site and pointing back to the domain, so that the domain name can be associated with the brand anchors on site? Does your brand name appear in search results? Do you have branded social profiles throughout the many different social platforms? Are you receiving brand mentions on social platforms? So you can see here, this is real straightforward common sense. And yes, Google has taken it and broken down one thing like brand into 100 different elements. But it's really for you to realize that, okay, this is common sense. I just need to take a look at it and find out how I can improve that aspect. Okay, let's take a quick break. Because as you can imagine, going through search engine optimization, ranking factors can be a bit overwhelming. So let's take a quick break, and let's get back into it. All right. So ranking factors can fall into three sort of areas: technical, on-page, and off-page. And of those three areas, they can be ranked as heavyweight, medium weight, or lightweight. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to cover some on-page as well as a bit of technical in the heavyweight, medium weight, and lightweight category. The off-page, there's a lot of things that you cannot control when it comes to the off-page, as well as the technical. That's why I'm only covering mostly on-page in this particular video as it relates to heavy, medium, and lightweight. So heavyweight. Heavyweight is direct impact on rankings, the core benefits to the content, get it right to see results. Medium, don't have a direct impact on higher rankings. The core benefits could relate to the user experience and can assist in improving results. Whereas the lightweight SEO signal can build trust and authority and can assist with indexing. It doesn't have a direct impact long-term on search engine rankings. So let's look at the heavyweight. What are they? You've got a domain age, like I mentioned before, page speed, SSL certificate, mobile optimized content, and title tags. Let's get into it. Domain age. Now, how old is your domain? Like I mentioned previously, any history, and most importantly, a lot of people miss this, is the expiry date. So you buy a domain, it's brand new, you've had it for a year, or you had it for 2 years, or however long. So it's gotten built up some history, or you've bought an existing or old domain name that someone used before. Make sure you check the history. Now that you have it and you're happy with the history and with using it, make sure you actually renew it in advance. So my domain name, for example, well, I have several sites, but my domain name, for example, has a year plus on it always. I always renew it and make sure I have a year left over. So it might be 1 year and 6 months, or 1 year and 3 months, or 1 year and 2 months. The reason for this is, think of it from the Google's point of view. Why should they rank your domain or your website or your blog if it only has 2 months left before expiration? That's not good for user experience. So make sure you always have a good amount of time left over in terms of the expiry date on your blog or your website. Page speed. This is the bane of lots of people's butts, and it's something that is really hard to master. But the 2 key things that you need to remember if you're running a WordPress.org website. So this presentation or video is all about the WordPress.org website. If you've got a WordPress.org website, please remember to look at your mobile speed and your desktop speed. Mobile relating to your mobile device as in your cell phone and your tablet, or your desktop or your desktop. Go to Page Speed Insights. It's a website by Google that helps you to find out where your website page speed, especially your individual pages, where they rank in terms of page speed. The rank is probably not the right term, but anything 2 seconds and below is good. Anything above 2 seconds, everything below 2 seconds, 1.9 is good. 2 seconds and above, you're getting into the danger zone. So try as best as possible to make sure that you are below 2 seconds in terms of page speed because of the user experience, especially for mobile devices. The best WordPress themes to use to improve your page speed, the GeneratePress, and one other, which I will include in the comments or description. And in terms of website hosts, you would better off going with a fast website host. There are only about 4 or 5 of them in total, believe it or not, especially when it comes to WordPress speed. There are only about 5 of them. I will ensure and list them in the description so you can know which are those 5 that you should be focused on. Okay, SSL certificate. Most hosting companies offer them for free, so you shouldn't have an excuse of needing to pay for them every year. They ensure that your brand and your website is trustworthy, builds authority, and especially for the user experience. When someone goes to your website and sees a little padlock in the top left-hand corner, they know they can trust your website. And then it should be mobile optimized, like I said. Now, this is super important. So mobile optimized, there's speed, and then there is the other aspect. So say, for example, I'll give you a really good example. I'm walking down the road, I feel hungry, and I feel like eating Chinese, and I want to go to the nearest Chinese restaurant near me. I have my privacy settings turned off. I go to my mobile device, I type in Chinese restaurant near me. Google brings up the top 3 in the list, and I click through, and I find a Chinese restaurant, and I cannot find a telephone number to find out if they've got, let's say, stir-fried vegetables or Peking duck or whatever it is I want to find from the menu, because the menu isn't there either. So that makes for a very bad user experience. What Google wants you to do is to make sure you have a website that's mobile optimized, especially for people who are trying to find things locally, especially for local, that they can find your menu. As soon as they click through, they can see your menu. They can find a telephone number. They can find your opening and closing times. They can find reviews right as they click through. They don't have to go very far. And the more this is available to them from a mobile device, the better for you, the higher they're going to rank you in these local search listings. Optimized content goes without saying, making sure you use all the keywords in the content. Make sure you address user content. So when someone is searching for Chinese restaurant near me and they go to your website, they want the first page to be a history of the Chinese restaurant, about us, how good we are, our 5-star rate, our rating, Michelin star rating. That's not important. I'm hungry. I want to eat. So make sure you satisfy the user intent. The user is searching for you locally because they were hungry. They want to eat now. Also, make sure the content length is appropriate based on that particular user intent. Title tags, super important. So when someone searches in Google and your title tag shows up, for example, back to the Chinese restaurant example, you have something like the history of the Chinese Great Wall, not important. That is a great title tag if someone is searching for something else. But if they're searching to eat something now, then that's not important to them right now. So make sure your title tags match the user intent as they're searching in Google. It contains keyword or latent semantic indexing, which is related keywords, and it represents the contents. When they click through, the title tag shouldn't match the content when the person clicks through to your website. Then we've got the medium weight. Medium weight consists of the meta description, the frequency of words, and the relevance. Now, when you, in the video, a previous video, I've left a link in the description for the previous video that addresses the meta description, but this is what it looks like. Once you have a WordPress website, WordPress.org website, and you use the Yoast SEO plugin, you'll get a little box like this as shown on the screen here that shows you the meta description. You enter the details of that meta description and click save, and you're all set. Making sure that meta description actually matches the content on your page. Frequency of words, so when the person goes to your website, well, not necessarily the person, this is all about Google now, how Google ranks you. When the spiders come to your website to index it, they want to make sure that the actual keyword that you're ranking for also relates to the other keywords, other words or content on that website that matches the user intent. I know this is all very confusing, but in tomorrow's video, you would actually get more information about how to improve your dwell time and to reduce your bounce rate. So look out for tomorrow's video, or if you're looking at it sometime in the future, you would see a link that links to the video that covers dwell time and bounce rate. So Google wants to make sure that everything is all about user experience, making sure you get the right experience. And then relevance, I mean, you can have words that's related. For example, my keyword for this particular article is social media metrics. I can have content that's related to social media metrics, but isn't relevant, and it doesn't address the user intent. So make sure that when someone clicks through, reads the content, it actually is relevant to what they're looking for, to that user intent. Finally, we've got lightweight. So the elements in lightweight includes the URL, the main copy, images, and the keywords. So here is the example of the URL. So you see my domain there, / social media metrics. Now, some people have much longer URLs, but it's up to you, your choice. I could have had this whole long title in the URL, but I decided to go for a short one just to give the user a much better experience so they can remember what to look for, and to help the spiders as well, so they'll see it's nice and short and to the point. So Google ranks based on the URL as it relates to the main copy as it relates to the URL. So I've used social media metrics throughout, as well as the related information. Image tags, super important. So I have labeled the image file name related to that keyword, which is Instagram story slide. I've included that in the title, and I've included that in the alt text as well. Please remember the alt text is there to help people who are visually impaired. So make sure that you put their text that will help them see what the image is about from their point of view, even though they can't actually physically see the image. And then obviously the keywords. So I addressed this already in a video yesterday. I've left the link in the description. But just to go through and show you, once you're on WordPress.org, you install the Yoast SEO plugin, meta tag, Yoast SEO plugin, and you'd have these meta tags information here that shows you where you should find the keywords. So you see here, it should be in the subheading, it should be in the title, it should be in the first paragraph or first sentence, should I say, of that paragraph, of the first paragraph. It should have density. Now this is very light now. It's not directly related, but it helps. And then it must be in the meta description, and it should also not be used. So it shouldn't have 2 pieces of content or 2 pages or 2 posts or 2 articles fighting for that same keyword. It should be only 1 keyword per, well, that 1 primary keyword should be linked only 1 post. You can have as many keywords as you want to that 1 post, but it should have a primary keyword that's only related to that 1 post. All right, there you have it. If that video was too fast for you, remember you can go back and play and stop and pause. But remember, tomorrow we're going to be looking at how to improve your website dwell time and reduce the bounce rate using the same techniques. Do you have any other search engine optimization questions? Search engine optimization can be a bit difficult to understand when you first get started, but the secret is to take baby steps so that you can get your head around it. And there are many resources available to help you get your head around it as well. So check out the links in the description and check out my other videos on this channel to help you understand search engine optimization and get you to 1 million impressions on your website in no time flat. Okay, so hopefully you found that very useful, and any other questions, do let me know. And until next time, enjoy your day and learn more about search engine optimization from my other videos. Bye.